What is phishing? Phishing attacks are fraudulent emails, text messages, phone calls, or websites that are designed to trick users into downloading malware, sharing sensitive information or personal data, for example, social security and credit card numbers, bank account numbers, login credentials, or taking other actions that expose themselves or their organizations to cybercrime. Successful phishing attacks often lead to identity theft, credit card fraud, ransomware attacks, data breaches, and huge financial losses for individuals and corporations. Phishing is the most common type of social engineering, the practice of deceiving, pressuring, or manipulating people into sending information or assets to the wrong people. Social engineering attacks rely on human error and pressure tactics for success. The attacker masquerades as a person or organization the victim trusts, for example, a coworker, a boss, a company the victim or victim's employer deals with, and creates a sense of urgency that drives the victim to act rashly. Hackers and fraudsters use these tactics because it's easier and less expensive to trick people than it is to hack into a computer or network. Phishing techniques and tactics. SMS phishing, or smishing, is phishing using mobile or smartphone text messages. The most effective smishing schemes are contextual, that is, related to smartphone account management or apps. For example, recipients may receive a text message offering a gift as thanks for paying a wireless bill, or asking them to update their credit card information to continue using a streaming media service. Voice phishing, or vishing, is phishing by phone call. Thanks to voice over IP technology, scammers can make millions of automated vishing calls per day. They often use caller ID spoofing to make their calls appear to be from legitimate organizations or local phone numbers. Vishing calls typically scare recipients with warnings of credit card processing problems, overdue payments, or trouble with the IRS. Recipients who respond end up providing sensitive data to the cybercriminals. Some recipients even end up granting remote control of their computers to the scammers on the call. Social media phishing employs various capabilities of a social media platform to phish for members' sensitive information. Scammers use the platform's own messaging capabilities, for example, Facebook Messenger, LinkedIn messaging, or InMail, in much the same ways they use regular email and text messaging. They also send users phishing emails that appear to come from the social networking site, asking recipients to update login credentials or payment information. These attacks can be especially costly to victims who use the same login credentials across multiple social media sites, an all-too-common worst practice. Application or in-app messaging. Popular mobile device apps and web-based applications email their users regularly. As a result, these users are ripe for phishing campaigns that spoof emails from app or software vendors. Again, playing the numbers game. Scammers spoof emails from the most popular apps and web applications. For example, PayPal, Microsoft Office, or Teams, to get the most bang for their phishing buck. Signs of phishing. Spotting phishing attempts can be a challenge, but with some vigilance, basic guidelines, and a dose of common sense, you can significantly reduce the risks. Look for irregularities or peculiarities in the email. Use the smell test to determine if something doesn't sit right with you. Trust your instincts, but stay away from fear, as phishing scams often exploit fear to impair your judgment. Here are additional signs of phishing attempts. Sign 1. The email presents an offer that seems too good to be true. It might claim you've hit the jackpot, won an extravagant prize, or other improbable rewards. Sign 2. The sender is recognizable, but not someone you usually interact with. Even if you recognize the sender's name, exercise caution if it's not someone you regularly communicate with, particularly if the email's content is unrelated to your usual job tasks. Similarly, be wary if you're CC'd on an email alongside unfamiliar individuals or colleagues from unrelated departments. Sign 3. The message induces fear. Be cautious if the email utilizes charged or alarming language to instill a sense of urgency, urging you to click and act immediately to prevent account termination. Remember, legitimate organizations won't request personal information via email. Sign 4. The message includes unexpected or odd attachments. These attachments may harbor malware, ransomware, or other online threats. Sign 5. The message incorporates links that seem dubious. Even if the above indicators don't raise suspicion, never trust embedded hyperlinks blindly. Hover your cursor over the link to reveal the actual URL. Pay special attention to subtle misspellings in a seemingly familiar website URL, as it's a red flag for deceit. It's always safer to manually enter the URL into your browser instead of clicking on the embedded link. How to recognize phishing. Phishing attempts are fraudulent activities where scammers use email or text messages aiming to trick individuals into revealing sensitive information like passwords, bank account numbers, or social security numbers. Recognizing phishing can be achieved by being alert to certain red flags. Typically, phishing messages may appear to come from reputable sources such as banks, credit card companies, or familiar online platforms. They often create a sense of urgency, suggesting suspicious activity or issues with your account, urging you to act swiftly. Some common indicators of phishing include unexpected communications requesting personal or financial information, unfamiliar sender email addresses, generic greetings, spelling and grammar mistakes, and deceptive URLs. By being cautious and verifying any suspicious communications directly with the institutions involved before responding, individuals can better protect themselves against phishing attempts. Now we want to go into more detail about the signs of phishing and help you spot them. Protecting against phishing scams. Security awareness training and best practices. Organizations are encouraged to teach users how to recognize phishing scams and to develop best practices for dealing with any suspicious emails and text messages. For example, users can be taught to recognize these and other characteristic features of phishing emails: requests for sensitive or personal information, or to update profile or payment information, requests to send or move money, file attachments the recipient did not request or expect. A sense of urgency, whether blatant your account will be closed today or subtle, for example a request from a colleague to pay an invoice immediately, threats of jail time or other unrealistic consequences. Poor spelling or grammar. Inconsistent or spoof sender address. Links shortened by using bit.ly or some other link shortening service. Images of text used in place of text, in messages or on linked web pages. Look out for the digital certificate of a website. Enable multi-factor authentication. To layer that protection, if you get an email from a source you are unsure of, navigate to the provided link manually by entering the legitimate website address into your browser. Mouse over the link to see if it's a legitimate link. Don't open emails from senders you are not familiar with. Don't ever click on a link inside of an email unless you know exactly where it is going. This is only a partial list. Unfortunately, hackers are always devising new phishing techniques to better avoid detection. Publications such as the Anti-Phishing Working Group's Quarterly Phishing Trends Activity Report. Organizations can establish and communicate clarifying policies. For example, a superior or colleague will never email a request to transfer funds. They can require employees to verify any requests for personal or sensitive information by contacting the sender or visiting the sender's legitimate site directly, by using means other than those provided in the message. And they can insist that employees report phishing attempts and suspicious emails to the IT or security group.